How are you doing?
Very good. Hello. Hi. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Just in Tenerife, so first day training today.
Very good. You know what? I've looked this up and I've been in Tenerife 32 years ago. My brother lived in Tenerife and I took my mountain bike to the trip and I was cycling up Teide. And I think I cried going up the mountain because I was just alone. It was so steep and so long. And I never really, I'm from the Black Forest in Germany. So it was the longest climb I ever did. So I can feel a little bit with you when you're there, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's nice and quiet up here as well at the top. Like, generally above the clouds as well. So always sunny. So can't complain. Very good.
Very good. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. I just want to give a quick introduction for those guys who are joining us now. You just come back from the Tour Romandy. You won the race. Really, really amazing event. Olympic gold medals in Team Pursuit in Beijing and in London. You're passionate for coffee and you have your own beer where we'll speak later about it. It's called G. You won the Tour de France in 2018. You're from Cardiff in Wales, and you say warm rain feels like a spa treatment, which I thought was really nice. We haven't had rain in Dubai for 2 years. You like Germany. I think you won the Bayern Rundfahrt in 2011 and 2014. You won gold medals, World Championship, Commonwealth Games, National Championships. What I really like, you have 2 cycling podcasts and you wrote 3 books about cycling and you want to share, I think, the passion for cycling. You love the classics, won the Junior Paris-Roubaix in 2004 and E3 Hallebeck. I heard from one of your teammates, from Rohan Dennis, that you like the movie Gladiator and you get quite emotional about the Gladiator.
Yeah, I always get teary-eyed at the end of that, yeah.
Yeah, what is it? Is it the end? Is it the beginning? You know, when I thought about the movie, and the first thing came to mind was this: "On my command, unleash hell." When he's fighting, is this what you say to your team when you have to go hard on a climb?
Kind of, yeah. Not quite life and death as it is in Gladiator, but yeah, no, it's the ending that always gets me. You know, you get invested in the character, don't you? And yeah, it's a sad but kind of a happy ending as well in a way, but yeah, that always gets me.
Very good. We prepared a short clip about your career and we just want to take you a little bit to the journey, and Will, if you don't mind, can you play the clip for us, please? Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Well done. Can you remember all the events? Can you immediately remember all the finishes, all the things, and the last moment you met your wife on the in Paris?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it's kind of strange seeing it all put together like that because yeah, it's going back a few years but some of them, but before, yeah, it feels like yesterday, to be honest, like the very start, you know, and you know, from a kid in Maindy, as those first couple of pictures were, like growing up in Cardiff, and then yeah, it's been yeah, not bad when you see it all together.
Oh, fantastic. I love that scene when you go on a breakaway with Peter Sagan and Chris Froome and kind of that situation with the crosswind. And that's really something where I really feel it is amazing how much racing really means and how you can really get this across. You remember that situation? Did you speak to him? Did he shout at you? Did you just see the situation when that break happened? And then you really made some time and doing that tour?
Yeah, it was it was the last few K of the stage, really. It was windy all day and it was really stressful, intense peloton all day. And it was kind of getting to the last few K and you didn't really think anything was going to happen. And then just kind of saw it going and yeah, just me and Froome went with it. And next thing you know, there was only 4 of us there. And so yeah, that was a crazy little scenario. But I just remember how strong Sagan was that day. It was like riding with a motorbike. And but yeah, it was a great day for the team, really, because Froome obviously gained more time on GC and things. And yeah, but it goes to show, you know, a lot can happen, like especially, well, in any bike race, really. But, you know, the Tour sometimes can be seen as quite calculated and things. But
Yes.
days like that show that, yeah, anything can happen, really, at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, fantastic. I want to take you a bit back on the beginning of we saw the pictures of your beginning of the career. What was the first moment when somebody introduced and who introduced cycling to you?
It just happened by chance, basically. I was going swimming at the local leisure centre and they happened to have an outdoor velodrome in the same place. And there was an advert for a kids club that was starting up and saw that there was like no brakes and just one gear, and kind of was intrigued by that and just wanted to go along and have a go, really. And that's how I started and enjoyed it, made some good mates, and it just all snowballed from there, really. So purely by chance. It was nothing to do with, it wasn't a cyclist in my family or anything like that. It was just my dad just liked me getting involved in any sort of sport, really, and it just kind of went from there.
And your father is sporty, or your brother, or how did you feel you developed that feeling of getting better and better and the motivation to train and stuff? Where does this come from?
Yeah, my dad was massively into sport. You know, he did quite a bit of athletics and rugby when he was younger. And just in Wales in general, sport is pretty big, especially rugby. So yeah, it's just from there, really. And me and my brother did a bit of everything, really. And you know, he did cycling for a bit, but he stopped. He didn't really enjoy it as much, and but he still does a lot of running, actually, just you know, around his job and things. But you know, I think he's like a sub 2 hour 30-minute marathon, so it's not bad for, you know, someone that has a job and stuff as well, really. But yeah, it's just something we've always been into. You know, playing football, rugby down the park as kids, you know, riding over on our bikes and just having fun with it all, really. And then suddenly, you know, you're winning national titles and things, and you're representing Great Britain in junior level. And yeah, it's mad how it sort of goes from there.
Very good. Your first bike was called Wolf?
Yeah.
Very good. I like it.
Yeah, it was a Wolf bike. It was a black bike, and it just played all these different types of like sounds and music and stuff. And yeah, I love that bike.
Very good. And I read one story when your grandma, you were leading out Mark Cavendish, and your grandma was kind of upset because you let him win, and she said, "Why did you not go?" And you continued a little bit further, and you could have won the race.
Yeah, that's kind of like the attitude of a lot of people in the UK, because obviously they don't understand how cycling works, really. They see it as an individual sport, but obviously it's a massive team sport as well. And yeah, obviously when Cav was in the team, when I was racing with him, you know, be leading him out and things, and she was like, "Well, why did you just stop with 200 meters to go? You were winning. Like, if you just kept going, you would have won." But yeah, just that naivety to the sport, really. But slowly educated her.
Very good. This was interesting. When I came 19 years ago, I came to Dubai, and obviously the sport was new here, and we did a lot of kind of education, watching the tour with people, and they didn't understand. Maybe like me watching cricket, I don't really understand the sport, and kind of educating them, and that was always interesting, because they didn't understand how somebody can win the yellow jersey without winning a stage, and why would they let them go, and this, and so it was really, really interesting.
Yeah, it can be confusing as well. You know, there's so much that's going on. You know, so many different competitions, especially in like stage races and the tour and stuff. So yeah, it's chess on wheels, isn't there, at times?
Yes.
Yes.
Going back to your beginnings, when you were racing as a little boy, any particular rider you had in mind when you were racing with your friends? And was there somebody playing? You had some hero you were going after?
Oh, I used to love Jan Urik.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, so he, I'm sure he's from the
Yeah,
Black
he's
Forest
close to
way
my
as well.
place. Yeah, actually, he
Yeah.
lived very long time, maybe like 15 kilometers from my hometown in the Black Forest.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, he won the Tour when I was first sort of like really following cycling and falling in love with it. So, since then I was like, oh yeah, that guy's good. And then he was, he's obviously continually second, and
Yes.
in Britain we love the underdog. So I think the more times he got second, the more I liked him really, and supported him even more. Yeah, because that's what, we love the underdog in the UK anyway. And but then I think a bit closer to home, Bradley Wiggins was always someone I looked up to, because he was doing what I wanted to do. Like, he was 6 years older than me.
Yes.
So he was constantly, he was won junior worlds, went on to the Olympics, turning professional on the road, this was everything I wanted to do. And he was doing it like 6 years before me. So I was always looking up to him. And Nicole Cook as well. She lived just down the road near me, and she was winning junior worlds. And that made it a bit more real, seeing someone that lived just down the road winning, rather than, someone from Germany or
Yes.
Spain or Italy, doing really well on a bike. It was actually someone that lived, 16, 20K away from me. So it seemed a lot more achievable then.
Very good. I think British cycling has done tremendously with building juniors and starting obviously with people like you, seeing them, supporting them, fostering them, and so on. And then really the success was just an unbelievable success. We're trying similar things now in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, with cycling clubs and so on, because it's still a sport which is growing in our region as well. And but I think you have done just an amazing thing, and winning obviously on the track, winning Olympic gold in the team pursuit, and then winning the Tour de France. That transition is just unbelievable. And yeah, there's no other rider I remember who has done this, maybe besides Bradley Wiggins.
Yeah, it was a massive surprise. Like, when he was fourth in the Tour, I think it was in 2009. Like, to see him do so well, and then it's like, boy, he can actually podium. And then he obviously won it in 2012, which was unbelievable. But even then, I was like, boy, there's no way I could do that. Maybe I can win like week-long races. Maybe like Paris-Nice, something like that. But I was like, oh, the Tour is just another level. But as you develop and each year you improve. And, for me, I was definitely a slow burner, not like the kids these days who, seem to be professional when they're sort of like 15, 16 and, winning massive races at 21 years of age. So, but for me, yeah, it was every year slowly improving, and, one-day races and then stage races like week-long. And then, went on to target the Grand Tours, and was fortunate enough to win the Tour, which is still kind of crazy, really. If I told myself, 14, 15-year-old that I'd win the Tour one day, would just be like probably explode of excitement.
What can you tell the younger riders you mentioned? What can they learn from you, and what have you learned from the young guys? Is there anything you've taken from them, or can you take from them
at the moment?
Yeah. Are you teaching them, because you have 16 years of pro peloton experience, and they're coming in, they're young, and you have this experience, but maybe at the same time they bring something to the table where you said, oh my God, I wish I would have known 15 years ago.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference from when I was a junior and juniors now, or younger guys turning pro, is they're just so much more professional. Like when I was a junior, I was going out getting drunk 2-3 times a week, at home, and then training in the middle of that and going to school, and it was just completely different lifestyle. And but I wouldn't change it. I think I like the way my career has sort of gone, from concentrating on the track, and then, as I said, one-day stage racing and things. But with regards to young kids on the team, it's just, I don't really talk too much or tell them this or that. It's just more just lead by example, really. And I'm just sort of go about my business in the best way I can, and then they can either see that and take what they want from that, or ignore it, basically. And I'm not one to sort of like sit them down and tell them, oh, you need to do this or this. It's just yeah, as I say, lead by example.
Very good. You like to have a beer, and you have your own beer called G. Were you involved in the process of developing it? It's a light beer. I think it's a yellow color after the jersey.
Yeah, it's for like the summer. It's stopped now because the company obviously was struggling with COVID and they're kind of cutting back on things. But yeah, it was a light beer for the summer months. And with the development of it, my dad and my father-in-law were heavily involved with that. They enjoyed going down every couple of weeks and sampling more and more beer. But then I sort of had the finished product and said, gave feedback on that. But yeah, I really liked it actually. And they brought a load to the end of the tour in 2019. I obviously had podium duties and stuff in Paris, and by the time I got to the bus, it had all gone. So it must have tasted pretty good. So, but fortunately, I was able to get a few crates more delivered to my house, so it was all good.
You won once, I think, your weight in beer. Is this correct?
Yeah. After E3, Harelbecker actually, it was Quaramount Beer sponsored the race, and before the start, they were saying that the winner wins their weight in beer. So yeah, after I won it, I spoke to the organisers like, "Oh, cracking! Can I get some my weight in beer then?" And they were a bit taken aback. So I don't think anyone had really tried to claim it before. But I was like, "Wow, that's the best prize I've ever won. I definitely won that." And I was getting married the end of that year as well, so it came in pretty handy. Really, everyone was walking around the wedding with like 1 litre bottles of Quaramount. So yeah, that went down really well.
Fantastic. You started your career on the Tour de France 2007. That was the first year you participated. But tell us a bit about this, because that was a tough year.
Yeah, it was super tough. I was first year professional. I was still a track rider, really. Track was my main focus, and the road was a tool to get me fitter, really. Obviously, I still wanted to turn professional, and that was still, a massive part of my career. But Beijing Olympics in 2008 was my main focus at the time. But so I joined BioWorld to start 2007, and then suddenly, well, not suddenly, the tour was always going to start in London, but I never really gave it much thought. And then obviously coming into the race, I was going well in the team, and then obviously being British, and it started in London, I guess I'd get a bit more publicity for the team as well, because it was pro-continental. It wasn't a world tour team. And so, yeah, they took me to the start of the tour, and the kind of thinking was, try and do 7 or 8 days, and then, you can go home and, whatever. But yeah, once I was there, I just managed to finish. And as soon as I finished the stage, I was just thinking, there's no way I can start tomorrow. But you have your massage food, you get up in the morning, you're like, well, I'm still in the race, so I might as well start. And so you start, and then you just don't want to give up when you're on the bike, and you push all the way to the line and manage to get through another day, and then the whole cycle starts again. And I've never suffered as much before or after that. It's the most I've ever suffered on a bike. But it definitely stood me in good stead. I think it brought me on leaps and bounds, but it also pushes the whole boundaries, really, of how much you can suffer. And all I got to do is think back to then, really. I think, well, I'm not really that tired compared to what I was then. So
okay, it gets better over the years. That's interesting.
So I think it definitely did me good.
I read as well, you cycled 120 kilometers behind the peloton, and I think you finished last in the 2007 edition.
Last but one. Yeah, I was 140th out of 141, so didn't even win the last move. So, but it was the first big mountain stage. I got dropped maybe 40k into the stage and spent 120k out the back behind chasing the gruppetto. But it was such a nice feeling on the final climb to come down the final descent and see some of the cars behind the gruppetto, and then go into the gruppetto a K or two into the last climb, and was just like, wow, I can't believe I've actually made it back. And yeah, some of the boys in the gruppetto were handing me some food, and managed to get through it. Luckily, it was a rest day the next day, and had a nice long massage and a rest, and just sort of slept all day, really, and then got up and started again 2 days later. And yeah, like I say, managed to make it to Paris, man.
Well, What do you think is it in yourself that you have that strength to keep on going? And how did you develop this? Is this from your parents? Is who started it? So you always had it in you and you just found it during your life? Or what happened to really develop that strength?
Yeah, I don't think it's anything you can kind of train almost. It's just something you either have it or you don't. And I think it can develop a bit. Like I think, you know, obviously my parents, the way they are and the way they brought me up, definitely cemented that attitude really. And then, you know, joining the academy with Rod Ellenworth as our like sort of coach there and looking after us there, you know, the way he was and the way he like treated us was, it wasn't harsh, but it was certainly like wasn't easy. And yeah, it just pushed you, and then it makes you like want it even more. And just I think it's just, yeah, like I say, you either have that fight and that real desire to do something in you, or you don't. And yeah, I think it's as simple as that, really.
I like that you described in the books you wrote about the tour. I listened to all of them, that you say you chip it away every day and you think about the process, not so much on the outcome. And you only after you finished the time trial and you saw your wife Sarah on the finish line, this is the moment when you really realized you won it. So is this still something you make the same when you prepare now for events, that you kind of only think about that next stage and the next moment in the race?
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's something I always sort of did, but obviously working with Steve Peters, a sports psychologist, it sort of cemented that as well. And yeah, it's just worrying about myself and just getting to the start line in 100% shape, as good as I can be. And then, you know, you go from there, and yeah, you just take every day as it comes. There's no point in thinking. You obviously need to know what's coming ahead so that affects how you ride that day and things. But once you're in the day and you know the plan, you just stick to that plan. Obviously, plans change and things, and you need to be versatile and adapt. But at the end of the day, it's just about focusing on what you're doing and not worrying about the next day or too far ahead. And that works for me anyway. And I think it's the best way to approach bike racing, especially grand tours and even like big long climbs. You know, there's no point getting to the bottom of, you know, Alpe d'Huez and thinking, I've got 14K at 8% here. You know, when we're going really hard already, and you just break it down into chunks, and you don't sort of, it's easier to sort of digest, and it goes quicker almost, because it's just like, right, you know, to the next hairpin, or, you know, the next kilometer or whatever. And I think that's yeah, that works for me.
And is this something as well you do in your private life, that you're very organized, or is it the opposite because you're so organized in sports and then it kind of phases off, or are you very organized as well when it comes to all of your private things?
Oh, it definitely rubs off into normal life as well. And yeah, I think my wife she's the opposite to me. She's pretty, like in English we'd say, scatty, like a bit disorganized, a bit just sort of like stuff everywhere. But she's definitely come more towards my organization, and like planning and just sort of like mindset almost. And then, but in normal life, she's also dragged me towards her messiness a bit as well. So we've kind of met in the middle. So it's a happy medium now.
Happy medium, yeah.
Yeah, but I still like to sort of, yeah, I like to plan, and in my head, I like to know what's happening, and I like to. So that's why sort of the last, with the whole COVID thing, was tough going, and
yes,
that was the hardest bit for me. You know, when I've been so used to like sort of like a plan and working towards that and knowing what I'm doing, etc. And so, you know, when that gets thrown up in the air, it's just, you can deal with it and you can adapt and things, but yeah, it's I find comfort really in knowing
what's happening,
what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and everything.
And from COVID, obviously we all have been affected and been locked in and so on. Is there anything you feel really we've learned and you will continue doing with for yourself and for your family, or what do you take away as a positive note from all that?
Well, one thing I think with humans in general, I think we all probably realized, you know, with that life-work balance and things. But then I think once it goes back to normal, people will soon forget and they'll go back to old habits. Like that's just, I think it's hard. You got to work on things to change really. And I think it doesn't just change overnight. And then I think for sure, the biggest positive for me though was the amount of time I got to spend at home, because obviously March last year is when it all sort of really kicked off. And Max, our son, was he was turning 6 months then, and suddenly I was home and I was with him. I had the whole off season with him, obviously,
Yes.
and the winter, and then suddenly when the racing's really supposed to kick off and I'm traveling here, there, and everywhere and away from home a lot, I was just home 24/7, and that was great. And so I got to spend some real good time with Sarah, my wife, and Max, and that was super nice. And the weather was actually really nice in Cardiff for a change as well. And we could have barbecues and just the three of us and just spend that quality time. Right. So that was just a massive plus. But we were also fortunate as professional bike riders that our lives got back to a bit more of normality sooner than others. We were able to go on training camps and racing sort of started, and so we were really fortunate with that, and we also recognized that as well. But I think when it comes to learning things from it, I think it's just, hopefully it just makes people just sort of like appreciate, what we have, and hopefully makes everyone a bit more sort of nicer, supportive of each other and stuff. But yeah, when you see on social media, there's still a lot of idiots around. But yes. I think in general, I think people, hopefully you'll just look after each other a bit more,
Very nice, yes. Your wife, Sarah, you mentioned, she has a business. She's doing a wedding venue. And is this the wedding venue where you got married and she took over?
Yeah, basically, it's a bit of a crazy story, really, but we were looking for somewhere to get married. Well, Sarah was really. I wasn't doing much of the looking, and she couldn't find anywhere that really wanted, and everything was kind of like, oh, you got to have this package or this, that, you know what I mean, like everything, you got to have these caterers or this band or whatever. Anyway, so Sarah was like, oh, well, why don't we just buy a house, get married there, and then convert it into a wedding venue afterwards? And I was a bit like, that's a bit outrageous, really, but yeah, maybe. And then found this house, and I was just like, wow, that's really nice. I can see that working, actually. So I thought, sod it, we'll gamble a bit and have a go and see if it works. And so we bought the house, we got married there, had a great wedding, and and then we converted it into a wedding venue. And Sarah did, with the help of her parents, and it was a huge success, really. And I think, last year we were due to have 150 weddings there, but obviously with COVID, I think it ended up being 15 maybe. But now things are slowly starting to get back to a bit more normality again, and there's a lot more weddings happening now. And so fair play to her. Like, obviously we had a baby as well, and so she's done really well with that, really. And that's sort of that's what will keep me going once I retire, I think.
Very good. Yeah, I just wanted to ask, what's your job when it gets very busy? Are you the man on the bar, or cooking, or what's your favorite thing to do when it gets busy?
I definitely won't be cooking. I said I'd have the easy job and just I can marry people at the start, and then I can enjoy the party. Yeah, well, not really a vicar, but more the registrar. So, when people don't get married in a church and they just want to do the official thing, I can do that. That's only 10 minutes work, isn't it? And then enjoy the party with everyone else. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Take us back, please, to the Olympics. You said 2008 and Beijing 2008, and then London 2012. I think Olympic Games is just the best thing ever. Yeah? I think everyone comes together, everyone celebrates the sport. You have so many different people from different sports, and then obviously winning gold medals in these two events is just unbelievable. Was London a little bit better because you had already won gold medal and it was obviously a home event? Or can you tell us, how did you go through this whole success story?
Yeah, they're both really special. Obviously, Beijing was the first, but I think I appreciated London more. I think because I was a bit older, and it was London. Like, it was just insane. Home Olympics. The support was unbelievable. But I think with the team pursuit, it was kind of, in the media and the public, they kind of saw it as a guaranteed medal. And as we all know, in sport, nothing's guaranteed. So the pressure was a lot higher and different. In Beijing, people knew cycling was good, but didn't know it could be as successful as it was. And so it was kind of a surprise, really. And we had no real pressure from outsiders, just the pressure we put on ourselves. And then but London was just completely opposite. And yeah, it's a strange feeling when everyone's sort of giving you the medal before you even turned up to the Olympics. So it was pressure, but at the same time, I was still able to take in everything around it. Whereas Beijing, I was a bit more blinkered and tunnel vision towards just that race, and I didn't want to get distracted by anything. Whereas in London, I just took it in a bit more, and yeah, both were just incredible, really. When you put so much hard work into something, you know, building up to it for 4 years, and to actually nail it and get what you want out of it was a great feeling.
Wow. Yeah, no, I think it's just amazing. And I think it looks so harmonious when you have 4 guys really operating at that level and moving up in the banks. And I've never really been on the track, so I really admire this. So it's really fantastic. Yeah, really outstanding. Yeah. Now you did it at 3 times 12-hour ride to support the NHS now during the COVID as well for on Swift. That's as well an unbelievable event. Yeah, 3 times 12 hours.
Yeah, I think you know, just riding for 12 hours, if it was out on the road, you know, it's hard enough. But I think doing it on Zwift on the turbo, you know, if you had to just sit in that chair now for 12 hours,
it's hard work.
It's pretty hard going. Like, just sat there and yeah, like pedaling away. And obviously I was on Zwift, so you know, I was able to interact with people, and obviously there was quite a lot of interviews and this and that going on, so that kept me sort of busy. But it was still just hour upon hour of just pedaling away in my garage, and that was tough. Like, the first day was kind of okay because it was all new. Like I say, there was loads of interviews to do on Zoom and stuff, and that kind of passed the time quite well, and I was sort of buzzing off it. But then the second day was by far the hardest. Well, no, the third day was, but the second day was just kind of just getting through it. At least the last day, there was a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, but the last 3 hours of that third ride of, you know, 3 consecutive 12-hour days, it was just, I could hardly sit on the saddle, and yeah, it wasn't the most enjoyable. But you know, to see that the money continually coming in, and you know, I think it was like 360,000 by the end, £.
Well done.
So yeah, which was an incredible amount of money. So you know, it kind of made it worthwhile, and that's what kept me going. And the fact that I had a live webcam feed, so there was no way I could just stop, because you know, if anyone was watching, they'd see me stop. So yeah, it was certainly tough going, but you know, to raise so much money for the NHS, the National Health Service, was yeah, it was felt pretty good doing it. But the shower afterwards was the best. Just sat there sweating for 12 hours to just get out of my kit and just stand in the shower was nicest feeling in the world.
Very good. You said you were listening to podcasts. What are the podcasts? Obviously, you do your own 2 podcasts, and what is a podcast you listen to?
I listen to a lot of other sport podcasts, really. I don't really listen to cycling.
Okay.
I prefer to just stay away from that, because you can tend to get a bit wound up sometimes with what these, you know, experts say.
Yes.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of rugby or football. Yeah, just general. A lot of sort of like true crime stuff as well.
Okay.
Although I've started to stop listening to them a bit now, because they're quite depressing, you know, listening to how some guy murdered a load of people or this or that, or, you know, after a while you're a bit like, it's a bit intense this now, just listen to some rugby chat instead. But I listened to one good one actually on BBC. It was about guys building a tunnel under the Berlin Wall.
Yes.
Can't remember what it's called now, Tunnel 39 or...
There's a good movie as well about this, when they went. Unbelievable. Yes.
Yeah. And that was like, just podcasts like that are really sort of interesting, and just incredible, really, how it wasn't even that long ago. So yeah, things like that I find interesting. Anything on space as well. I love a bit of space. So yeah.
Very cool. You have your own, or you have 2 podcasts, and recently you started the Geraint Thomas Cycling Club. I think as well, it's very good information. And I listen, I think now to all the 16 or 17 episodes you made. I think it's nice to educate people as well, because that's a lot of what we are doing. And I thought it was really good. And I think there's an option where I can apply for a job. I can apply for a place in the committee. So I was really thinking about it. I don't know, maybe later you can tell me if you have a tip, but I thought maybe a marginal gainer, because I have 34 years of experience. So, but if you come up with anything, I'm a chef as well, my first career. So maybe I can apply.
Yeah, it's good to do. I wasn't too sure to start with, because I was thinking, oh, what would we actually talk about? But it's nice to just get a bit of a community feel as well. So yeah, we say just to join the club, Geraint Thomas Cycling Club, all you got to do is listen to the podcast and you're a member immediately. And we have a club ride every Wednesday on Zwift as well. I think it's like 6 p.m. UK time. And it just gets like everyone together really. And you know, and then on social media as well, there's a lot of chat and things, and just get people involved. And now we have a jersey, and there's an online jersey on Zwift as well. And so yeah, especially during like lockdown in the last few months as well, I think it's been good for people to be part of a bit of a community and stuff as well, and you know, all get together and ride. Even though it's on Zwift and not in the real world, it's still got a nice feel to it. So yeah, happy with how that's going. And it's quite general as well, you know. There's some detailed parts and stuff for like the real cycling fan, but then there's also stuff for, you know, newcomers to the sport as well. So it's quite varied and quite broad, and a good range of guests as well, you know. Some amateurs, like some, you know, big fans of the sport, and then some guys like Sir Chris Hoy, who, you know, and who's won 6 Olympic golds, and, you know, Rowan Dennis, like world time trial champions, and, you know, Chris Froome soon as well, who obviously one of the most successful Grand Tour riders ever. So yeah, it's enjoyable to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you're doing a really good job. And I think it's really nice because we have a lot of new people coming to the sport. And for them, it's sometimes very difficult to understand how to approach a climb, or what is the velodrome and all these things. And I think it's really, really interesting how you do it. And I think the other one, obviously with Luke Rowe, what's occurring. I think this is good as well. I think especially if you're a bit more into cycling, I think the information is really nice. I really like the jingle. That kind of church kind of sound, or like that kind of with an older
Welsh.
Welsh. Okay, that's from
Male voice
Welsh.
choir.
Very good. I really like it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's really, really cool. Yeah, no, I think it's great, and I feel really it's nice that you take the time, because it's a lot of time going into this. Like I prepare for the talks quite some time, which is enjoyable, but still it takes time. And we started this show as well during the lockdown because we felt we wanted to give some positivity and inform people about other people, how they get through this and so on. But now we feel as well, we want to keep it going, and we want to invite more people and get the message out that cycling is really just an unbelievable sport. So well done. It's a really good show. So I will put the link in our show notes.
Thanks.
Really cool. Looking at your bike and your setup, do you have any special things you have on your bike and things you always pass on? Like I know you use, and thanks to the friends of Physic who arranged the talk, you're using still the same shoes like in 2018 when you won the tour. Is it still the same product?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I get quite sentimental really. I don't want to change stuff after a successful ride. So I'm still on the same shoes. So my wife gave me a little wishbone. You know, like you get in chickens, you get like, or in the UK anyway, we call it wishbone. So basically, yeah, I have a little one of them on my Garmin, and also a little baseball cap, which, because Max, our son, loves wearing a baseball cap when I'm wearing mine. So yeah, that's just something that I have on there. And then other than that, though, it's pretty standard. Same saddle, actually.
Yes. What are you using?
Saddle. The Arione.
Oh, Arione.
The long thin one. Yes. So I've been using that since 2004. Maybe I had 1 year off it when the Team Sky, we were on a different saddle for maybe a year, but then luckily we went back to Physique, and I've basically been on that saddle since 2004. So long old time now.
Yes, it's a good saddle because it obviously allows you to have a good range of motion as well. Then you can move forward and slide backwards in case you need.
Yeah, generally I'm on the end of it most of the time anyway. But yeah, like I don't know why, but it's just one of those saddles. Like once you
Once
like
you
it,
found it.
it just works. Yeah.
Anything as well you're special about your setup? Anything you're very particular about, or are you sensitive on saddle height? Like is a millimeter up and down, or you're rather somebody who's a little bit easy on that?
I can feel it. Like if there's something slightly out, I can feel it. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, it'll be fine. I'll get used to it. So I'm aware of it, but then at the same time, I'm not too bothered. Just like, I'll be fine. Just crack on. And I'm not too, there's a lot of divas around and a lot of guys that are fussy with things like that, but no, I'll be fine. I'm pretty robust compared to some of them, you know, a couple of mil and somebody's suddenly their back's out and they're seeing the physio, you know, 10 times a day. But no, I'm pretty chill.
What do you feel is the biggest invention we have seen in the past couple of years? I'm thinking things like tire change, that we went from I'm sure 18, 20 millimeter tires now to 28 millimeter tires, and tire pressure. Anything you remember where you thought, okay, how could we not see this, that this is such an improvement, riding on wider tires and so on? Is there something comes to mind?
I think electric gears is a massive one.
Okay, good.
You know, to think going back to sort of cables now just seems ancient, even though, okay, electric's probably been, it hasn't been too long, 10 years, maybe a bit more. So yeah, I think, and just like, it's just crazy how when you see a bike, even from 5 years ago now, immediately it looks really old. You know, I think the technology just moves on so much and so quickly, and you get used to the new things so quickly that, yeah, if you look back just 5-6 years, suddenly it can just seem like, wow, how was that like top of the range back then, you know? And so that's quite interesting. Like when I saw Brad's Tour winning bike, this was even a couple of years ago, and I just saw, I was doing some event and I saw it on the stand and I was just like, blimey, that just looks so old, even though it was only maybe 6 or 7 years since he'd actually won it. So yeah, that's the biggest like difference you see, really.
Have you changed the tires? What are you using usually? 28 millimeters now, 25, 28?
Yeah, generally 25s. It depends on the wheels you got, because I think, you know, with lightweights, they're obviously narrower, so we tend to be on like small 23s. But then yeah, I think obviously with Roubaix, you know, guys racing on carbon wheels now, whereas, you know, 10 years ago you had to be on like, you know, big steel things. But yeah, 28, 27, 28, maybe even 30, some guys in Roubaix. So yeah, it's just, I think like the rolling resistance and the testing and on tires and stuff, you know, shows it's not a massive difference. So I think, you know, wheels are obviously getting more aero and better. So obviously disc brakes now as well is a big thing. So it's just moving forward all the time, which is good. I think, you know, innovation and, you know, moving technology forward is great, really. And you know, I'm not a tech nerd or anything, but I do appreciate some new kit and whatever. But yeah, a bit like with my saddle height, really. Like I can appreciate it, but I'm not, you know, I'm not sat down reading about new, you know, brake calipers or whatever.
Very good. Cameron Worth said you're useless is changing tires. Is this true?
Yeah, well, my tactic there is if I take ages to do it the first time, he'll just offer to do it, and then he'll always do it for me. So
very, very smart, very good. And he said, I spoke to him, and he said, you will do some triathlons after you retire.
Yeah, that's the plan. So basically, you know, I would. Well, it depends when I stop, but it would be over 15 years pro, and before that, even, you know, as a junior in 23, always dreaming of winning races and doing well in races. So I've always got goals. So I think once I stop, if I don't have a goal, you know, without sounding dramatic, but, you know, I think it's easy to sort of be a bit down and depressed and just not, you need a purpose. You need a reason to sort of get out of bed in the morning, you know? And I think when I'm so used to having big goals to work towards, I think I'll need something initially to, you know, get me out of bed in the morning. And I think, you know, going and competing in a few Ironman races, even though I won't be doing it to win and perform, you know, at the best level, but, you know, is still a good target to have, and I think that will help just sort of keep the weight off as well, because I think I've definitely got potential to put a bit of weight on when I start.
But Cameron was very sure that you will do very, very well, so that he can see a lot of talent for your Ironman career.
Yeah, I'll smash Cam. That's the main thing, just beat him. But yeah, I think, you know, as soon as I start training for it as well, you'll end up chasing times and numbers, and that competitiveness will definitely come out. So I say now I'm not going to take it that seriously, but yeah, I'll probably be training just as hard as ever, probably. But yeah, it's something I'm really looking forward to doing anyway once I've stopped sort of professional racing.
Very cool. My wife, on my way home, we talked about our talk, and my wife is called Gabi, and I said, oh, his nickname is G, and it's, oh, that's really, really cool. And who gave you the nickname G?
It was Cav, actually.
Okay.
When we were part of the under-23 academy, because a lot of people struggled to say my name, Geraint. So yeah, Gav just started calling me G, especially because one of my mates in Cardiff as well, I called him D. So yeah, he heard me, he was calling my mate D, so he just started calling me G, and that was it. And it just kind of stuck then, and it was easier for everyone, you know. They didn't have to struggle to pronounce my name, they just called me G. So yeah, a lot simpler.
My wife Gabi really likes it. She said, she sounds sexy, she said, yeah, with a G. Because the W doesn't really do it. Yeah. So my name is Wolfi, obviously, and then W doesn't really do the trick.
Not as catchy, no.
Not as catchy as G. Very cool. I have a few sentences, and I would just like a short answer for him, if you don't mind. What's the best part of being a pro?
I think the traveling, the places you get to go to. Although sometimes you don't, you know, when you're racing, you don't really take it all in. But I think, you know, I've gone to Moscow and Australia and Canada and America, you know, Rio for the Olympics, you know, all over the world, South Africa. So yeah, incredible, really, the place to get to go.
What's your dream car?
Well, I guess it was a Porsche Turbo. I was lucky enough to get one 2 years ago.
Something happened with Michael Walgren's car. I should ask you from Rohan. You should tell us the story.
I might not tell you the whole story, but I scraped it a little bit on the first corner driving out the car park. Yeah,
what car was it?
But it's all sorted now. An X5 is a massive thing, and this car park is super tight. And I was looking in the wing mirror, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm fine, I've got space there, but I kind of forgot that the wheel arches stick out a little bit more, and scraped them, but that's all sorted now, so that's all good.
Very good.
He's still speaking to me, so
that's good. So it's fixed. The greatest athlete of all times? Doesn't have to be cycling. Anyone you feel like is something who inspired you?
I was a massive fan of Thierry Henry. Obviously, I watched the Michael Jordan documentary last year. That was a big one, wasn't it? And he's a bit of a legend. I'll go Henry though.
Very good. I want to learn how to. Is there anything you want to learn in life? Anything you have on your bucket list?
I wish I was better at languages.
How many languages do you speak?
None, really. Well, English.
Okay.
But even Welsh. My dad Welsh is one of those languages, even if you're born in Cardiff or a big city, you don't necessarily learn it unless you go to a Welsh speaking school. And I didn't. And you know, I understand bits and bobs here and there, but I definitely wouldn't be able to have a proper conversation in it. So I wish he had spoke it to me as a kid, really, and there's something easy I could have picked up. But yeah, and then obviously French and Italian, more Italian really. But yeah, it's something I really keep thinking, oh, I need to just knuckle down and do this. But after training and stuff, you're always pretty tired, aren't you? So it's hard to do. But yeah, I'd say languages is something I'd love to improve on.
But in the peloton, they speak mostly French or Italian, or is the main language English?
Mainly English now, and that's the problem, I think, because you know, even where I live down in Monaco, like you try and speak French, and then they just speak English back to you because they can tell you obviously not French, and you're probably saying something completely wrong. And so it's tough then because everyone just speak English to you, and it's easier to do then. So, but yeah,
I wish I had If you wish for something you want to
Oh,
have?
Don't know really. Maybe a couple more hours in the day just to chill out.
Very good. And you want to be remembered as what? What do you think if people look back, Geraint Thomas, in a few years? What is something you feel like is something they should remember of?
I don't know really. Just a genuine guy, really.
Yes.
Nice guy. Just decent bike rider. But I don't want to really be defined by races that you've won or you haven't won. Really, I'm not too hung up on that. Really, just be a nice guy.
Is there one race you want to win? Is there something on your wish list?
Nothing that stands out. That I'd love to win another Tour, or a Giro, or Paris-Roubaix, another Olympic gold medal. Not too fussy, really.
Yes.
Or all of them. I'd have all of
them. Yes, very good.
At the moment, obviously the Tour is my main focus at the moment. So, but then as soon as that's done, hopefully be selected for the Olympics, and that'll be another big goal. So they're the two main goals this season.
What's the rest for the season look like for you? You do, which races are coming up until the Tour?
So I got Dauphiné, and then the Tour, okay. Olympics, and then after that, depends on how those races have gone. You kind of go from there, really. But after the Olympics, it's a bit. We'll see once we get there.
Very good. Is there a person you would like to spend a day? It could be dead or alive. Anyone you would wish to spend a day to learn more about him?
Oh, Eminem.
Eminem.
Yeah, it's probably maybe I should say someone like, I don't know, Winston Churchill or
no, but cool. Yeah, cool guy.
But yeah, no, Eminem's like someone I grew up like listening to, and I've just been a massive fan since I was a kid. So yeah, it'd be pretty cool to spend the day with him.
Very good. Then it's my last question is really karaoke bar. If you go to a karaoke bar, which song are you going to pick to sing?
Usually I only do karaoke when I'm completely drunk and I can't even remember anyway. So when I'm not drunk, it would be anything. But yeah, terrible singer me.
Very good. Very good. Geraint, I want to thank you for your time, taking the time out of your training camp. It was really a great pleasure to speak to you. You have been really somebody I've following now for so many years, and really been inspiring for a lot of people. I think it's really great what you do with your podcast. I think you're an amazing rider to watch. I think you had an amazing career. It's really fantastic, and I really wish you all the best. And I hope you have you been in Dubai before? I think in 2015 in Dubai, but after that for holiday?
No, but we're actually thinking of going there this year with my little boy and wife, end of October. So
very good. Yeah. If you need any help, any tour guide, or I could be maybe then your tour guide for the GC, the Geraint Thomas Cycling Club Tour Guide Dubai edition. But if I can help you with anything, let me know. I'm very happy to look after you here when you visit us in Dubai.
Appreciate it.
Thanks again. And you come obviously from the track. We have our next guest is a single speed rider called Patrick Seabase. You know him by any chance? He's a Red Bull athlete, and he's cycling everything he's doing on a single speed, climbing all the mountains around the world. So he's going to be on next week with us on our show. So yeah.
Good stuff. I'll tune in.
Very good. Geraint, thank you so much. Yeah, have a great evening. Thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot. You too.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Good night.